jobs, but let's be real here. Like there was some reality checks from what you expected as a young person and what was the reality. Were there anything that stands out for that?
Yeah, the reality is it's hard.
Mm,
I went into it knowing, the basics. I mean, you did give me a fair warning of the reality of what it's like to be a business owner and be an entrepreneur. But I think I was focused a lot on the excitement, finally, building up my portfolio and wanting to create some really fun things. But the reality, it came at a shock sometimes that this is what it takes to be a business owner, to be an entrepreneur. There were some moments of doubt, as I'm sure most entrepreneurs have, but it's being able to push through. But yeah, it's not easy.
it's not. And you have to be aware that there's going to be things we just don't think about, right? Like be aware of the unexpected because they will always come at you. You can be prepared as much as possible,
So
but
how do you be prepared for the unexpected? For our story, for example, we started it January 1st, 2020. Well, 3 months later, the world shut down. And
mm,
we heard about it in the news. We weren't really sure what was going to come of it. The benefit for us is it did take off, but the after effects of COVID and everybody going back to work, that's where we really had to shift. And we couldn't have predicted that, just like how we couldn't have predicted a world shutdown.
that's true. That's true. And you do what you can do and be prepared. We also took off quickly. Did we have our plan as well in place? I mean, it's all
Probably
about
not as well as it should have been.
what should, woulda, coulda, and this is where you got to do the best you can do, live on the edge, be prepared, and then be agile and flexible, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I do believe fully, strongly that you need a plan. And you and I, when we started, we had that. We were very clear on who we served, the entrepreneur, the impact focused, heart centered entrepreneur that wanted to make a difference. And to this day, right, we still do
Mhm.
that. So that foundation is still there.
And I will say I'm grateful that I did have you because you've
Mhm.
done this before. Whereas if I was starting on my own, there's a chance that I might not have made it the first year. I never would have known to think of the unexpected, to have those plans. And I think anybody going into the entrepreneur world needs to understand having that plan can prevent a lot of disaster. I can't learn everything.
Mhm.
And I think if I was more prepared, I probably wouldn't have had the outcome that we had and the learning opportunities.
Mhm.
Um, I think you gave me a really good understanding, as much as you could, but nothing would have been able to teach me unless I experienced it myself.
And you were courageous enough to get started, and we revisited things often.